So Nixxiom came out with a new video. It talks about, you know, the biggest problem with MMOs. If you don't know who Nixxiom is, World of Warcraft content creator, awesome content creator. And let's watch this video because I want to see what he thinks. I want to see what Nixxiom thinks.
Why is it nowadays that every single MMO developer out there treats the level up experience in their game like it's some big, giant, boring grind that just...
Look at fucking S-Fan. S-Fan is like doing this in his fucking sleep. Like, I would do the same thing. This is me leveling a new character, for sure.
...to be sludged through.
Look at that.
End game because, oh yeah, that's where the real fun is.
Well, okay, I will admit it. You know, that is where the real fun is end game stuff. Because once you've done the opening and the prerequisites to get to the end game stuff, you've already done it once. You don't really need to do it again. Like, it sucks. But sometimes you want to relive that whole experience. Who knows?
How many MMOs exist nowadays where you start playing it because your friends are all playing it? You get to like level 15 or something, you're bored out of your mind, and your friends are like, nah, dude, like, you got to get to level 60, you got to get to level 80, you got to get to level 200 something before the fun really starts. What kind of garbage is that? A video game needs to be fun and entertaining.
How many of you guys, okay, so to all my WoW players or Final Fantasy players or any MMO players out there, how many of you guys felt that? How many of you guys have felt that, you know, the boring grind before you get to that level? Like, honestly, I've felt that before. Playing WoW since the beginning. And when Burning Crusade came out and I started a Blood Elf, I loved the Blood Elf storyline. But then after that, it was just the same thing of the grind. It sucked until you got to the max level. And then everything else was like, all right, I'm at max level. Just get to the next thing. Get through that next session. MMOs are problematic for me with the ADHD just because that I feel it. I feel it. Like, I totally feel it. I feel it every time I level a new alt. That's why I only have, like, I have alts, but I only use one. I only use my main for everything. I'll jump on an alt to get another run in for something, and that's it.
From the moment that you log in to the moment that you log out. Otherwise, what the heck is even the point of playing it? If you have to go through 500 hours of crap and garbage just to get to a few hours of fun, that's not a good game.
What do we do now? We play the game, right?
Thinking about a lot for the past several weeks, ever since I started playing Classic WoW Hardcore.
I haven't even played Classic WoW. Like, I got Classic WoW and started playing with the Death Knight just to get them out. That was it. I think the highest level I've ever gotten in an MMO is like 30, and then that took like 3 days and I was bored as fuck. Same, like, RuneScape stopped. Final Fantasy 14. I got to a certain level and I was like, I can't do this shit. I was pissed off at Blizzard, so I was stopping. I didn't play WoW for a minute. So I tried something new, and I liked Final Fantasy. Don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy games. Like, I own almost every single one of them. But my thing is starting a new MMO. It's like, I'm already invested in a story. I'm going to continue on with that story, but I don't want to reinvest myself in another story if I'm not going to like it. You know what I mean? I got to 60 in Classic, and then it got boring. Feels.
You see, in this version of World of Warcraft, you're trying to hit level 70 without dying, and if you do die, you have to delete your character right after. And
that's the definition of hardcore WoW, which would piss me off. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you die, you're dead. You have to delete your character. There's rules and things with it. I wouldn't be able to do it. If I got to max level and say my character died, I would probably pull. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Oh my god.
This would be me if I died. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely smash my fucking monitor. That's why I will never do hardcore WoW.
This has
Just saying.
created an extraordinarily challenging way to play the game that has hooked thousands of players. In fact, the community has been growing so fast recently.
I feel that, Art.
Blizzard is even releasing official hardcore realms. I just made a video on that recently.
What?
But you know, as I've been
Wait, so Blizzard is actually jumping on the bandwagon and making an official hardcore realm?
doing classic WoW hardcore, and as I've been dying, and I've been having to restart in Durotar and Tirisfal Glades, Dunmorrow, Elwyn Forest, whatever, as I've been having to do the same starting zones over and over again, I've never gotten bored of it. And I'm talking with all these people in guilds and in the general chat, and they're not bored of it either. People will say, oh yeah, this is my 20th character. Oh yeah, this is my 10th character. Here we go again, Durotar for the 17th time, and they're not bored of it. And why?
Imagine being a WoW player that's starting their 20th character in a week. Just imagine. You would have to pick your fucking class perfect. I'm not gonna lie. You would have to make a fucking specific build. But just imagine 20th character in a week because you keep dying.
Is that? If you told me that I had to level up through Battle for Azeroth or Shadowlands again in retail WoW, I would tear my eyes out. But if you told me, oh hey, you gotta do Tirisfal Glades for the 10,000th time since you started playing this game in 2005, wouldn't bother me one bit. I would say, dude, let's do it. I'd make that undead rogue or that undead mage and I'd dive right in. And why is that? Blizzard back in the day clearly had a completely different mindset when it came to the level up experience in World of Warcraft.
That's because the story was more in depth and it was engrossing. It made you want to play. It gave you a pure, like, it was an investment. It was an investment of time. It was like reading Lord of the Rings, but in video game form, in my opinion. That's how this game, like, that's how OG WoW was. And that's why, like, when Classic came out and I was willing to actually get into, like, I wasn't wanting to do Burning Crusade. Don't get me wrong. I loved Burning Crusade. But Wrath of the Lich King is where my time was. Like, I enjoyed most of my time. If I was being told I can start and just go straight into it, straight into Wrath of the Lich King, I would do that. I'd do it again. I'm not even gonna lie. Because I loved the story. I open WoW up right now and I'm like, so what's the story? I've played a bunch now and I still don't know, right? Like, but that's the thing though. You're always learning something. And that's the thing with classic WoW is they really went in depth with the story. It's like they cared. If that makes sense.
Wanted the leveling to be fun. They knew that you were going to spend untold numbers of hours just trying to get to level 60, and they wanted to make sure that that adventure hooked you right from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. I just said that.
There's a lot that we could talk about that has lended to that hook. What causes it? The first things for me that come to mind, like, oh, you know, why do I like classic WoW leveling so much, even like in starting zones? I would say, well, I love the fact that all the gear matters and is relevant.
Yes.
I love learning my new class abilities and seeing what's coming next. I love earning
yes.
the dual wielding as a rogue at level 10, the Void Walker as a warlock. I like earning that first green robe as a priest.
Or as a paladin, actually, as a Blood Elf paladin, actually going through a storyline just to get your mount, your paladin mount, like straight up.
When you get to Brill and Tirisfal Glades, getting your first green item drop out in the world, there's so much to say. Every single time you level a new character in WoW, it's a memorable experience. You go out, you pick up professions in order to make your character even stronger than the guy next to you. You take the time to mine those nodes or skin those wolves or whatever, and suddenly you feel like a badass walking around in the gear that you crafted yourself with a sharpened weapon that you have sharpened with your own two hands. And I don't know, everything feels impactful. Everything feels like it's worth doing. And this is a huge
I feel that
to modern World of Warcraft and other.
Like, I do feel that. I really do. Like, back in classic, like OG WoW, back in Wrath, back in Burning Crusade, and you know what? I'd even say some of, Cataclysm before, certain things happened, like, Raid Finder and stuff like that. It mattered. You put in the time and it mattered to you. I led ICC raids once or twice a week. Once as a GDKP and once as an actual fucking, guild raid. I ran Nax half-ass. I ran Ulduar. That was what I did, and I enjoyed it. It was a story. Every single time I was watching new things happen. I tried WoW for the first time the other day. How'd you like it, Valhalla? By the way, welcome in. How's it going? What he's saying is why I make my own equipment in Skyrim. Like, I use magic and fists until I can smith my own stuff, and then I use it. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you put the time in and it matters to you, anybody can fucking play the game. But going through the OG story as a new character is not just one-sided the same thing. You feel what you get what I'm saying? Like, OG WoW, you would start an orc or a and I'm speaking from the horde side, an orc or a tauren or undead, each had their own story, and now it's kind of like streamlined the exact same way. It was fun at first, but eventually felt lonely. That's one of the downfalls about starting fresh. Like, if I'm going to say anything, to anybody who's going to think about starting WoW, it's a toxic environment. It's a toxic game. It is just like any other game. You get those games with everything, but you find your right people. WoW is more catered in a sense to play in solo, in my opinion, at times now. Like, it is a solo game that you can get from 0 to max level solo, no problem, without having to do dungeons and raids. But it's not like how it used to be, where all your guild mates were on. Your guild mates were literally messaging you on, like, they were calling you on Vent, or they were messaging you on social media platforms saying, hey, you need to get back into it. I still got friends of mine that would literally, like, old guildmates that would be like, when are you coming back? We miss having you here, and I'd be like, I'm taking a break because the game I outgrew the game, or the game outgrew me, or something like that. Like, I needed a break, and I would take these like 6-month hiatuses, and when I'd come back, more people left. So now I'm like just a man that's in a guild that I've been in for years that nobody's in, but I find new people like you guys to play with, but like, it is a lonely game at times. You just have to find your right spot. I will say that. That's probably why I haven't ever finished the main story, though. I feel it.
Modern MMOs, where picking up professions or getting new pieces of gear or whatever is completely meaningless. It's completely meaningless. It has no impact whatsoever. It does not make the mobs less dangerous. It does not even make the level up experience feel like it's going faster. If anything, maybe you're killing mobs like 0.001% faster. That's how it feels.
I feel it.
Boring. If I'm playing an orc in Duratar and I'm leaving Razor Hill and I'm a miner and a blacksmith and I'm a warrior, I'm thinking about several things. I'm thinking, man, I really need to get healing potions. Those would be very useful for me when I face Fizzle down in like the canyons later on down the road. Hey, while I'm at Northwatch Keep or whatever that little human like castle is, I need to be gathering linen cloth to level up my first aid. That's going to be very useful to me.
First aid is bullshit now.
As a warrior.
It's first aid it doesn't even matter.
I need to keep my eyes out for mining nodes because I need to create a new copper vest.
You can buy that shit on the auction house.
I need to level up my blacksmithing. I want to make that green two-handed axe that's going to make me unkillable for so many levels. I'm thinking about all this stuff on top of the quests that I have to do, on top of the fact that I'm in the world, I'm planning out my route. You're more engaged with the game. And this is something that I wish that the modern game had. And so I've been sitting here pondering on that.
Same, I feel it. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been enjoying Dragonflight. I really have. But it's just like Nixxiom saying, like, it doesn't matter with the gear. Like, I'm literally just trying to push through it.
That engagement. Asking myself, do I feel this way when I play Dragonflight, for example? When I'm leveling a new character on the Dragon Isles?
I fucking hated that. I hated this area. Dragonfly is the whole reason I picked up WoW again, because I can be a hot dragon lady. Hey yo, like my main thing is it's always been like this. Whenever it comes to WoW, I have I got them mixed up. Yeah, I feel it. Anytime a new expansion comes out, I buy it. I'm already. At this rate, I'm already thousands of dollars invested into WoW. I might as well just continue playing it until it cancels, right? And then afterwards, I'm going to be stuck with all these collector's editions that I'm going to be like, what am I going to do with these? But I feel it, like I'm already invested in it. I could take off a couple months playing, 6 months, a year. But anytime a new expansion comes out, you bet your ass I'm buying it, just like Diablo.
It's a lot of fun. There's all these cool systems.
But how's your day, Sammy?
New things to do. But speaking for me, when I was leveling in Dragonflight, there was no moment where I freaked out and I got really.
I fucking hated this spot too. There were so many spots I fucking hated, dungeon wise, and I've expressed it live on stream. I invested for exactly the price of Dragonflight and a month of game time. Same. Like I bought the collector's edition because I wanted it, you know, which I'm not saying anything bad about it. I like it.
Excited, kind of like you do when you get your first 6-slot bag dropping off of a wolf in Dun Moreau.
Oh yeah.
Wow, this is going to be extremely useful to me in the future. I am happy that this happened. This is great. It just changed my entire strategy playing forward in the game. I don't know. There was never really a moment like that for me in Dragonflight. In Star Wars The Old Republic, a game I recently just leveled through, I didn't really have a moment like that. Even in Elder Scrolls Online, a game that I really enjoy, ESO, you don't really have those moments.
I think with ESO, it was more because you were expecting it to be like Skyrim and stuff like that, and it's just not that feels. It's not that, you know, sense of feeling like what it used to be. Does that make sense? Like, you just get tired, per se.
Modern MMOs just treat the level up experience like it's just a chore. And if you're gonna treat the level up content like it's just this boring grind that needs to be just drudged through, why even have it in the first place? Just have players start at max level and just jump right into the end game. What is the purpose of early game? Early game in an MMO should fill you with a sense of adventure. Early game should be teaching you how to play your class.
It should be teaching you how to play. It should be teaching you the story, and it should be hyping you up for the what's to come, you know? Early game play should really get you motivated to keep going. Not feel like, here we go again. We're doing this whole thing. We're starting back over.
Early game should be introducing you to the lore, to the world, the mechanics of the game. It should be introducing you to treasures and moments that make you go, whoa, that was awesome. In an MMORPG, a game all about leaving this world, you know, behind and immersing ourselves into a whole new world, an MMO needs to cultivate a feeling of going on an adventure.
I agree. I agree with that. I will say that full-heartedly. I agree. How many games have you played that you can literally sit for hours and you don't even know it's hours? You don't even know you just spent 6 to 8 hours. You spent your entire day off of work or school playing this fucking game. And to you, it only feels like maybe a couple minutes to an hour because you got so engrossed into the game that it's like, it just sucks you in. That's how WoW was in the beginning for me. That's how Skyrim was. That's how Fallout was. That's how any Final Fantasy, any Assassin's Creed, or some of them, like Red Dead Redemption, another one. Like, you dive into that game and you just get so engrossed with the lore. It's like, it's almost intoxicating. Some games don't have that anymore. WoW, fuck, I don't even know the last time in WoW I read a fucking quest message, like exactly what to do. Half the time I just go, okay, I'll accept, go, accept, go, accept, go. And then I'm like, when am I going to get out of this fucking area?
And modern games compared to older MMOs just don't have that. There's barely any MMOs that really adhere to this formula and made it.
I feel like, hang on,
core concept of their gameplay.
I feel like one game that has still given that, you know, dive into the story, and I will give them props for this, is Final Fantasy 14 online. I feel like Final Fantasy 14, it does give you a story to engross yourself in. There's just certain, like, for me, it's personally, I can't play too many MMOs because like I said, I don't like change. I could play so many fucking games. I don't even have to finish them. In the minute I pick it up, it's like I just picked up where I left off. I might have to remember some mechanics about it, but it's like picking it up where I left off and just playing it again. But when it comes to an MMO, to relearn, to learn a new MMO or what have you, it's mundane to me. But if there's a couple things that I could say about Final Fantasy, the gameplay itself and the way they present it. I've always loved how Final Fantasy games present the story.
You have early World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars Galaxies, and you know, what other ones are there? I don't really remember. Maybe Warhammer Online when it first came out, but that was so long ago, I don't remember. It's just fascinating watching all these people playing classic hardcore, dying at level 8, level 10, level 20 or something, and then just starting all over again, same zones, and they have no problem with it. They're just like, oh, cool, let's do it again. And it just really...
I would try it, actually. Like, if it's that fun, I might try hardcore.
Shows how good Blizzard's old school game design was in the fact that it's so replayable. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with that. So that's my rant for the day, fellas. I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you guys, a few little observations that I've seen while playing recently and seeing
Nixxiom.
change in the community.
You want to check out the video yourself? Here it is. We're going to give it a like. Go give him a follow. Give the video a like too if you liked it.
Check out this video.
I like, what's your guys' thoughts on it? Like, honestly, like, do you feel the exact same way with MMOs? If you play an MMO, do you feel the exact same way where it's like it takes forever to actually get into something, or it just feels mundane and drawn out? What would you like to see in an MMO? What would you like to see come back out with it? Like, when it comes to something like that, would you like to see the gameplay be like the classics, or are you liking, you know, the kind of just the push through and just deal with it type thing? Let me know. Like, I honestly feel like Nixxiom does make a good point, and I might have to try hardcore. I might have to, just to see exactly what it's all about. But that was the Nixxiom video. Definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a good video. Definitely had some takes that I thought was really good. And yeah, I mean, I can agree with them. I might have to definitely try some of that Warcraft hardcore. I don't know how I'll feel about it, but I will definitely give it a shot. Maybe we might have to. Bring it down.